On this lesson, we're going to talk about employee benefits. So I know that we all take a position or choose a career based on salary a lot of times, but there are also other benefits that an employer can give their employee that would kind of sweeten the deal. Employee benefits are value-added options that employer may choose to offer their employees, like paid vacation time or holiday time, retirement plans. That's a big one. Stock ownership plans, child care leave, health care. There's a lot of different benefits that an employee can offer. An employer can offer an employee to kind of sweeten the deal for that employee. So some of those benefits we're going to talk about in this section. So Alan works for a printing company. It has been a little over 4 years since he was hired. He now makes $54,080 per year. When he was hired, he was told that he had 5 days of vacation time, paid vacation time. For each year that he worked, he would gain another 2 days of paid vacation time, up to a maximum of 20 days. How many paid vacation days does he now get at the end of 4 years of employment, and how much will he make during the time he is on vacation? So he's got 5 days when he started, and then every year he works, he gets 2 days added to that. So after another year, he's gotten 2 days added to that. After another year, 2 more days. After another year, and after another year. So at the end of 4 years, he's got 13 days accrued in paid vacation time, assuming he hasn't used any. So the second part of that is how much will he make during the time he's on vacation? So that one's going to take a little computing. So this is what he makes per year. So if you divide that by 52 weeks in a year, this is what he makes per week. A typical work week consists of 5 business days, Monday through Friday. It could be any variation of that, but typically 5 days a week. Therefore, Alan has 2 work weeks plus 3 days. 13 days would be 2 work weeks, 5 days, and then an additional 3 days of paid vacation coming to him this year. The remaining 3 vacation days can be expressed as a fractional part of a work week. 3 days, that's those 3 that are left over out of 5 days, can be written as 0.6. So he gets 5 days, that's a week worth. Another 5 days, that's another week. And then 3 days out of 5 is 0.6. 3/5 is 0.6. So he's owed 1 plus 1 plus 0.6 would be 2.6 weeks of salary. Well, his weekly salary was $1,040. Multiply that times 2.6, and that's what he's going to get paid if he takes all 13 vacation days this year. $2,704, not too bad getting paid while you're on vacation. Let's look at another one. Frida's employer offers her family health care. Frida must contribute 12% of the cost, which means the rest of it her employer pays, which would be 88%. Frida gets paid on a biweekly basis, and she notices that $88.50 is taken out of her paycheck for her portion of the contribution to the family health care coverage. How much does Frida's employer contribute? Dollar amount. Okay, so X's represent the cost of her health care. That's the total cost. Frida's contribution is 12% of that. So 0.12 times the total. Since Frida has $88.50 taken out of her biweekly paychecks for the coverage, her total yearly contribution is determined by multiplying that biweekly amount times 26, which is the number of biweekly paychecks. So this amount, this is taken out biweekly, times 26 would give her the annual amount that she has to pay, which is only 12% of what it costs because her employer pays for the difference. To figure out her total cost, you would set up this equation. She pays 12%, and the 12% that she pays out of the total is equal to 2301. So you divide both sides by 0.12, you get this. This is the total dollar amount of her employer benefit. She pays a portion of that. The employer pays the other part. To figure out how much the employer contributes, which is what we're looking for, you take this amount minus what she pays, And that would give you what the employer charges. So 12% of the total equals what she paid. Divide that by 0.12, you get the total. Take that number and subtract what she's paying, and that gives you the employer's contribution. Marina works at Washington Performing Arts Center. Her employer offers her a pension. This is a promise of a monthly paycheck after you retire. Marina's employer uses a formula to calculate the pension. A retired employee will receive 1.5% of their average salary for the last 5 years of employment for every year worked. Marina is planning on retiring at the end of this year after 25 years of employment. Marina would receive this amount each year until her death. Her salaries for the last 5 years. So what we're going to do, we need the average salary for the last 5 years. So we add those up and divide by 5. And this gives us her average salary for the last 5 years of her employment. She's going to receive 1.5% of that times every year that she worked. 1.5% times every year that she worked, which would be 25. So I'm going to take this number, 95,420, multiply it times 0.015. Remember that was 1.5% as a decimal. That gives us this amount. This amount times every year that she worked, which was 25, would give her this much. This is what she's going to receive every year until her death. So she'll get a monthly check, divide that by 12, and she'll get a monthly check, totaling this every year until she dies. All right. In Reese's state, the weekly unemployment compensation is 60% of the 26-week average for the 2 highest salaried quarters. A quarter is every 3 months. So the 2 highest earnings for 3 months. A quarter's 3 consecutive months. For July, August, September, he earned a total of this much. In October, November, and December, he earned this much. Determine Reese's unemployment compensation. His total earnings for the 2 quarters, you'd add those up. Divide that amount earned during these months by 26, since there's 26 weeks in a half-year period. His 26-week average is $724 per week. He's going to get 60% of that. So there's a lot of computation I have to go on. So 724 times 60% is 434. So he's going to get an unemployment compensation of $434 every week. Okay, so let's go over that again. You take the 2 highest 3 consecutive months and you add them up. Take that amount and divide by 26, because there are 26 weeks in this half-year period, which was given to us right there, the 26-week average. Take this, divide by 26, you get 724. He gets 60% of that. 60% of that would be $434.30 every week. He's going to receive that amount for the next 26 weeks or until he finds another job. That's unemployment compensation. So some employers offer this unemployment compensation in case you become unemployed. Actually, I'm going to retract on that. Unemployment insurance is a government program. So that benefits employers through no fault of their own have become unemployed. So that's what unemployment insurance is. Okay, let's look at Wanda here. Wanda lives in the same state as Reese. Her weekly unemployment compensation is $360. This is her weekly unemployment compensation. What were the total 26-week earnings for her highest 2 consecutive quarters of employment? So for this problem, you would just take this and work backwards. So we're going to take this amount, and instead of multiplying by 0.60, we're going to divide by 0.60, and that's going to give us her 26-week average. So 360 divided by 0.6 is 600. So her 26-week average is 600. To find the total 26 weeks earnings, we would just multiply this number times 26. which would be 15,600. So that's the total of her 26 weeks earnings. That was the two highest consecutive quarters of employment. And for this last one, Laura lives in the same state as Reese. Laura made the same weekly salary for each of the 26 weeks in her two highest consecutive quarters, so they were equal every week. She will receive a weekly unemployment compensation of $570. What was Laura's weekly salary when she worked for her company? So her weekly salary would simply be the 26-week average, because she made exactly the same amount for every week. So we just take this number and divide by 0.6, which is 60%. So 570 divided by 0.6 is 950. So because her paychecks were equal every quarter or every week, that would be the amount right there, 950. Employee benefits.